right, welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. Jeff Carroll here. About to drop some. This is my second video on Foundation. It may be the one per season. I don't know. The season for season 2 of the movie Foundation actually finished in September. Holy moly! And I just finished watching it last night or night before last, and I wanted to talk about it because people are just getting hip to it. People are starting to check it out, and I've enjoyed these series. I mean, these all should have been on the Sci-Fi channel, but now there's too many to even be on the Sci-Fi channel. They're on Netflix, they're on all these other different platforms, and it is what it is. We stopped thinking Sci-Fi channel should have, what they should have done. Sci-Fi is bigger than the Sci-Fi channel now. And Foundation, I'll say Foundation is like Starship Troopers. It's from that middle era in the 70s. I think it is 60s, 70s, but it isn't the Jules Verne, the Asimov. It may be, but it's late, right? And I should have even looked up who wrote it. Dag, I forgot. But it's definitely before black people got into sci-fi. How about that? And it was a book series, and it was a part of one of the golden ages, if they want to call. I don't know, because there's debate on it, what golden age they're talking about for sci-fi, but it was definitely before black people got into sci-fi. And we're going to say black people got into sci-fi in the 80s, 90s, and blew up in the 2000s, all right? I say the 80s because we might have started reading it a little more. We had Stephen Barnes, Octavia Butler, other people, Samuel Delaney, other people doing their things. But, we were still reading it more, just starting. So Foundation is that to me. Foundation is that to me. Foundation, I'm probably going to title this Foundation and Black Sci-Fi, because they're sort of two different things. So I had always had a problem with Foundation season 1, and I don't even remember, I didn't even watch my blog, but I think what I'm going to say is consistent, because it's not just Foundation. It's my overall take on sci-fi before black people. It was very imaginative. They imagined robots. They imagined population booms. Every big what if. Asteroids coming to Earth, life on another planet, traveling planets, Star Trek. You had all these, Bane books, Tor books, all these big DAW, publishers that was knocking sci-fi out. Of course, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, all those TV shows was coming out, and this was still Western viewed sci-fi, because there's no other way to look at it. And they dealt with all of the big what ifs, no doubt. I love them for that. That's what pulls me in, But a lot of times they fall back on some European, narrative of Earth and humankind. The moment they generalize humankind, they lose it. Prior to that, I'm with all of the solutions to the world, but sometimes, when the day the Earth stood still, you come back to Earth and you see all of this problems, and you just blame all Earthlings, all human species. You blame the human species, not the ones that are directly responsible for the conditions on Earth. Indigenous Americans didn't mess up Earth. Indigenous Americans aren't bad people. Indigenous Americans aren't worthy of extermination. Are you kidding me? No way. We can tell who messed up Earth. And I say that because I'm not taking responsibility. My people's not taking responsibility. Our problem in West Africa and indigenous America, I don't care what side of my family you want to go into, my little ancestries on both sides, we was just too unaware of how wild things were going on in the colder parts of Earth and how wild those people had gotten up there and the things that they were doing with civilization. It was out of control. So that's the problem. Now, I don't know what happened to the Egyptian civilization. We could speculate about it, but I'm talking about, the pre-Black Plague stage, the post-Moors trying to civilize the European stage. What happened with all of that? Where did that go? So the foundation, it builds off of that. Get tired of this big narrative that humans are flawed because of what the humans who dominate Earth are doing to Earth right now. Yeah, you can say these guys did not see it coming when y'all ran the Earth and Earth was first world and y'all was living off civilization like these indigenous Americans. You give them 15 years and you can't even tell they lived on the land because they live off the land in a harmonious way. Now we building flat roads, we got cars with pollution. We've destroyed and left the Earth with practically permanent scars. It will take a disaster to restructure the Earth the way it was before because we need these things to be entertaining. Sure, I'm a part of the world now, no doubt, but I ain't taking responsibility for it because I didn't ask to be here. If you would have left me alone, I'd have been either indigenous American or I would have been a West African prior to Arabians' invasions, right? Because that is part of it as well. So, and I say that because go look at the history. I'm not going to debate history here, but I will say that's my flaw with pre and even post. If you say it now, I've got a problem with you. So, if you say humans are flawed now, I'm going to have a problem with you. Because intelligence, right? That's why I look at AI. I look at Vicky and iRobot. If AI is AI, then it should be able to distinguish between humans and humans, right? In the different cultures. AI should understand what the heck oppression is, conquering is. You understand? Come on. If it's really intelligent, right? Because I'm still learning, right? I'm not at an intelligent stage where you could just say, all right, you don't need to learn nothing more. I'm still learning and I know that. Come on, son. So for me, foundation, let's look at season 2. And I'm going to foundation. The foundation of foundation, how about that? Is built that a mathematician came up with probabilities that were crystal clear. Probabilities that were so good that he was able to predict things and his predictions was coming through. And he used his probabilities to, and they didn't really get into it. It just said mathematician, right? How many wars take place annually, how long civilization live. And he said the Earth is, or this civilization is only going to live for another 1,000 years and it's going to be destroyed. But we got to do something so we can preserve and don't end up like the Egyptians. Okay, that's the elephant in the room. We all know that we want to know what happened to the Egyptians. They were such a high culture and society. To be gone is a tragedy, right? Because we trying to solve some of the same things that they've already solved. So we got to figure out a way to retain some of this human knowledge, right? So he says, let's send a group of people with out the disabilities that would cause them to make a new world dysfunctional and restart that society, right? We restart that society, and that would be called foundation. So that was a beautiful premise of season 1, and I had problems with it. And it was beautiful because they had the emperor. He had multi-generations of cloning. He would clone himself every 15 years or something like that. So he would be in his 30s and 40s, and it would be another one that's 15, 16, and then it'd be another one that's 60, right? And then, a new one would be born, so he would get to know himself, he would get to know the world around him, but he would be ruling from 30 to 50 or something, whatever is an ideal time to rule, right? So he would be ruling the civilization around that time, and it was really efficient. However, other things were advancing too, like AI and robot, and season 2 brought in this new robot, which kind of knew everything that he knew it, but it was a more efficient machine. Overall, I'm gonna just say this: it's coming out even when I'm trying to explain it. There's too many smart people. I don't know if I've ever said anything like that before. I know, what was that? Lost in Space series had a little black girl, and she was annoyingly intelligent too. And I was like, oh my God. And she was smart as the moms, and she was outsmarting everybody. I was like, it's annoying. Smart people can be annoying. I know I can, and I'll probably blog about that too. But I know I got tired of dumb people in what do you call it? Horror movies, and just dumb people in general in stories, and dumb people pushing stories along. Don't think I don't feel that way still. But I will also say overly smart people are boring also. So what happened in Foundation is in season 2 it splintered, and it's you find that when they get to Foundation, there was another foundation that he started, and then when you get to that other foundation, it had another type of people that could read minds and project things into people's minds. So it started to go like the expanse of space. How many different types of people could we create? Okay, I love that. But sometimes, and this is what I feel with Foundation, it can lose its focus as a story. What the heck is the story about? I love sequels, but even sequels have to stick to, is it a Predator sequel or does it become an Alien sequel? And those things are important because I tuned in to watch a certain show. And yeah, okay, now it's going to be horror. Then make it American Horror Story where you have different casts and different stories, but it's the same type of thing. To me, Foundation season 2 was background noise. I can tell you all about it. I'm down with it, but it was background noise because I got tired of learning new characters, learning new motives. I got tired of just resetting everything. Oh my God. Okay, so what was going on? I'm trying, in a story, you want to keep up with the smart people. You want to know, all right, if he pushes this button here, what's going to happen? Or if he pushes that button there, what's going to happen? I can't keep up with 15 buttons. I'm down. I don't want, and I think some of these, like me, I am a science fiction writer. I love calling myself that. As a science fiction writer, I am not a story writer. Most of my stories are dominated by a what-if question. There are love stories or relationship stories that's on top of this. In the 60s and 70s, it was even worse. A lot of the writers wrote stories that were answering a what-if question, and the characters and the story element of them came later. And you can really see that when you watch these stories. They try to re-up them when they remake them, like Dune. They try to refine some of that, but no, these science fiction writers was just that. So to me, I think what do you call it? What's the name of it? Foundation is just is overly complicated. Man, I like where they're going. They had a war and destroyed stuff, but nah, man, give me something simple. I'm sorry if it seems like it's I don't want to spoil it. So this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. I just think it was too many complicated storylines. I can make it make sense, but it's not enough for me to even kind of trust that they're not going to bail themselves out with another type of person, because they've been doing that all season 2, and it's irritating. I like the story to be like the story. Come on, finish. Anyway, all right. Talk to you later. And I didn't really get into the black sci-fi part of it. I think my black sci-fi part, let me just add this. My black sci-fi part is, I want black sci-fi to get to the point where we do start asking these big questions. We keep having very similar storylines, or we don't really ask big questions. And I want us to ask big questions. I love what brought me into the Foundation is this mathematical man who solves society's flaws and predicts the end. But it's the same type of dude. Maybe you can prevent it. Anyway, they're getting into that a little bit. All right, out. Sci-Fi Express Lane, Jeff Carroll. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.